One of my friends, Tap2Rich, is making his first ever game on Roblox, and he asked me to help him make it happen. The game is called Survive the Brain Rot, and it's supposed to be a combination between natural disaster survival and steal a brain rot. So my goals for the game are to recreate all the thumbnails, create new maps, and think of new ideas for the entire game. As of right now, the game is on 19 active players and only has 30,237 visits. So we'll see at the end of the video how much we can get those numbers up to. So the first thing I decided to do was recreate the thumbnails for the game. I wanted to make a thumbnail with the Bombadero Crocodilo. So I took the asset from the game and exported it into Blender. And in Blender, I just posed it for how I wanted it in the thumbnail. I needed to move it around, get the lighting perfect, and get it exactly how I wanted it to be so I can make a great thumbnail. And then after that, I put it into Photoshop, and my first step was to change the color of the crocodile. I just didn't really like the color of it. I felt like it didn't pop out much. So I changed that, and then I decided to play around with different thumbnail styles, and quickly I found out what I wanted to do. I wanted to put the Bombadero dropping a bunch of bombs behind it and giant explosions. I feel like this is the type of thumbnail that would catch people's attention. And of course, I wanted to make it super saturated, just like every other thumbnail in Roblox. And here's the final result of what I cooked up. Honestly, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I've never made a thumbnail like this before, so it was my first time doing something along these lines, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I also made a thumbnail with the Tralalero Tralala. This brain rot in the game has a tsunami wave effect. So I try to make that in the thumbnail to make it look like the tsunami is about to crash on the player and on the house. This one, I'm not 100% sure that I love it, but I think it turned out decent enough to keep for the thumbnail. And the final one I cooked up is for the Ballerina Cappuccino. This one is supposed to have a tornado effect in the game. So I wanted it to look like all the blocks are flying away from the tornado and the player is flying from the tornado and all of that. I actually really liked how this one turned out. It took a long time to do because I had no idea what I was doing, but the final results I think turned out very well. And I also made this into an icon for the game as well. So what that means that it's finally time to upload the new images to the game. So here are what the thumbnails looked like before I made my copies of them. You could see the Ballerina Cappuccina, the Tralalero Tralala, and then this thingy over here. A lot of the thumbnails look pretty dull and honestly don't stand out very much. And here is after I did my magic. Here are my thumbnails that I made, all three of them. I think it actually looks pretty good. It looks way more vibrant. It pops out a lot more. The saturation is beautiful, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And here's what the icon looks like on my Roblox profile as well. Honestly, I think it turned out perfectly. If you need any game icons, you know who to hit up, man. Yesterday's price is not today's price. And just like that, we already finished our first goal for the challenge, recreating the thumbnails. If you guys are enjoying the video, please leave a like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 300,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so help us get there. After just one day of having the new icons up, we already hit a record of 94 players in the game. Before I start working on a new map for the game, let me explain to you how it actually works. So when you first load in, there's a spawn area where there's a shop where you can buy different game passes, such as a gravity coil and a speed coil. There's also a shop for how many survivals you can have where you can get free prizes for playing the game. And there's even a leaderboard for the people who have survived the most. The game hasn't even been out for a week and the top person already has 453 wins. And once the game actually starts, you load into a random brain rot map, which are inspired by different brain rot games that are super popular on Roblox. And a random brain rot spawns in that has a different disaster that you have to survive. So some of them are more difficult than others. And every day we're working to put in more brain rots, more maps, and more disasters. But as of right now, that's how the game works. Pretty simple and pretty self-explanatory. But anyways, let's head into Roblox Studio and start working on my first map. So my map is going to be inspired by Crossroads, the classic Roblox map, but I need to make it fit onto a base plate of 400 by 450. And I need to get rid of a bunch of the caves and a bunch of the hiding places, which would make it way too easy to survive from any of the brain rots. I swear every time I say brain rot, I lose 1 IQ. But basically, I just took everything from the original map and just moved it into a smaller base plate. I was thinking about adding some extra things and my own touch to it, but at the same time, I just wanted to keep it as the classic Crossroads that everybody knows. The point is that we want to have recognizable maps that everybody actually knows. But a little bit later, I am going to make my own 100% unique map. So here is the final result. I mean, it is literally Crossroads. It's barely any different. I got rid of a few different things, but honestly, a lot of it isn't even noticeable. Let's go ahead and test out this new map to see if it actually works well with the game. We just got the classic Crossroads map, and our first brain rot is the Cananelli Dragonini. But this one actually like blows up everything. This is by far my favorite brain rot. I think the fire and the VFX are really cool on it. Tap honestly cooked with this one. And then we also got the Bombadiro Crocodilo. This one also looks pretty nice as it bombs everything away. It's pretty cool. The parts flying everywhere is literally just cinematic. And finally we got the Los Crocodilitos. Another one very similar to the last. Looks pretty cool as all the parts explode everywhere. But like I said, I'm going to be making a second map, and this one is going to be 100% unique. So for this map, I decided I wanted to make a medieval style map. For some reason, that's always my favorite thing to make on Roblox. I really enjoy making castles and anything medieval in general. So kind of what I wanted to do was have a giant river in the middle of the map. And then at the top of the river, I want to put some waterfalls where the water is actually coming from. And try to make a pretty big map with a few hills here and there. And then the main feature of the map will be the two castles, one on each side, with towers, catapults, and walls, and all kinds of other things scattered around the map. With this map, honestly, I didn't really have any kind of direction. I didn't take inspiration for anything. I kind of just went with the flow, and whatever I rocked with, I went with. Sometimes that's just the most fun way to build on Roblox. And honestly, I'm not even 100% sure if this map is perfect for the game that we're making, but here is the final result. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. I think the castles look amazing. The map looks pretty decent. I didn't want to add too many things to it, but at the same time, you get the detail of the catapults and the different towers around, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Anyways, it's time to actually test the map. I love how the map looks, and I think it actually does work well with this concept. The only problem is that it has way too many parts in it, and it makes the game super laggy, especially with these ones like the dragon that just destroy everything. So I think I'm gonna make the castles actually invincible so the parts don't go everywhere and lag the entire game. But besides that, I think this map looks really good with the different brain rots and looks even better than I thought it would, honestly. So that means we finished our second goal to create new maps for the game. And at the end of our 4th day of working on the game, we've hit another record of 107 players playing the game. Keep in mind, we did not advertise this game at all. So having 107 players was more than we expected to this point. We're still in the very beginning stages of the game, so I love to see it. After 1 day of all of our new maps being out, we've officially hit another new game record. We had 154 concurrent players today, and we've officially hit 100,000 visits on the game overall, which honestly is pretty impressive on a game with zero advertising. And in honor of our new records, I decided to make a third map. This one again would be 100% unique, and I wanted to make some kind of pirate ship, pirate island themed map with a tropical island, a pirate ship, and all kinds of stuff like that. And I started off by actually making a pirate ship, which was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. Making a pirate ship out of blocks is pretty difficult, I'm not gonna lie. And then after I made that, I decided to make a bunch of islands, and I kept just adding little details as I went, such as adding different palm trees. I even added a hidden chest somewhere in the map. I added different huts throughout, and even a giant volcano. But after all of my effort, here is the final result. This actually came out way better than I thought. I might even like this one more than the castle map. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but I'm heavily rocking with this map, honestly. You could even go onto the ship. There's a little place for you to hide, and there's different Easter eggs hidden throughout the map. So I think it came out extremely well, not gonna lie. So let's go ahead and actually test it in the game. I feel like this is actually one of, if not the most difficult map out of all of them, because you could literally just fall into the water and die. There's a giant volcano you can fall into and die. And there aren't a ton of places to hide, which make it super difficult. And I kind of like that because I feel like a lot of the maps are super easy. So one like this makes it a lot more fun and a lot more challenging. Honestly, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's perfect. But then all of a sudden, a tragedy struck. On October 20th, Roblox completely shut down. You weren't able to play any games. You weren't able to buy anything. You couldn't even log on to the website or literally do anything to do with Roblox for about half of the day, which really isn't that big of a deal. But the problem is, when this happened, there were 0 players playing our game, and since then, the game has just completely been dead. So even though at one point we peaked at 154 players, we currently have 3 people playing the game. But either way, I'm gonna keep moving forward and think of some new ideas for future updates to the game. There's a few problems I found while playing it that I think can be fixed with a few updates. First of all, I feel like there isn't enough time to actually access the shop to buy anything. So we definitely need to add some kind of AFK or not playing button so that you can actually access the shop and just stay at the spawn area. Another thing I want to add is some kind of a game pass that will allow you to have a rocket launcher that can blow up different structures around the map. I don't want people to be able to kill each other, but some kind of thing that can destroy the map around you, I feel like could be a lot of fun. Another thing I would love to add is some kind of developer product that allows you to choose the map and choose the disaster that's incoming. That could be a really fun addition and allow people to try all of the different disasters and all of the different maps. And my final idea is to add some kind of a game pass or developer product that allows you to freeze the players around you. I feel like it would be really funny if you could have a freeze ray, and as people are trying to escape from disasters, they just can't move. Or even a developer product that can freeze everybody in the map for a couple seconds. That would be a really cool thing to add. Honestly, I have even more ideas of things we can add to the game, but I think those are probably things that'll come later down the line. For example, adding pets to the game, or adding a way to have multiple brain rots at once, and having different difficulties of brain rots. I think there's a lot of cool things that we can add, but I think we should focus on the small things first. Since I have no idea how to script or how to add any of my ideas to the game, I'm gonna send all of my ideas to Tap, and hopefully he can actually script them and then implement them into the game. And that marks my final task of the video done. We made new thumbnails, we created new maps for the game, and we thought of new ideas for the game. So I did everything that I wanted to do. But if you guys watching this video have any ideas for us on what to add to the game, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. But let me know what you guys think of the game. You can play it at the first link in the description below. As of right now, we have 6 active players, 240 favorites, and 136,000 visits. Let me know if you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Peace.